All right, we live. I'm about to go make sure I can share it.
I never understood that in the first place. Like, what's the purpose of me telling my address
To the
to the
world.
public
Yeah,
to be put on record?
exactly.
Like,
So what?
It was for them to be able to look you up. That's all it
But
was.
it could be done quietly, like behind, like when you fill out the form,
form,
Andrew,
right?
we have to put it up there then.
Like, stating your name and your resident, it should be fine. It's good.
Yeah, I'm about to share it now. All right, Tuesday we live.
This
All right.
Saturday, March 14th, Richmond County GOP breakfast at
All right,
up. He's starting his races for the white people.
we live. Is anybody watching? Did y'all come in? I told you we live already. I don't know how many times I had to say it, but you didn't say nothing too crazy. Only said it 5 times. But as people come in, make sure y'all share the live.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, y'all.
Share the live.
Hey.
Comment. Let us know if y'all can hear us or not.
Kelby posted it. She shouldn't post it.
Yeah. Share the live. Share the live.
Who is Richmond County? Oh, Richmond County Republican
Put
Party. I didn't know Garnett was a Republican. Like, not officially.
Oh,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Not
Please.
officially.
Somebody a
Please.
few months ago had posted his.
But he on the Republican Party
Please.
page.
That's
Well,
right.
somebody a few months ago had posted, and I'd have to go back through and find it, but had posted.
Make sure y'all comment.
his
Let us know if y'all can
record
hear us.
for how he
Share the live.
votes. Well, I don't know if it's votes.
Got some special
but
guests in
how
the
he
building.
Registers.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's gone back and forth. According to that, I don't know if it was real or not, though.
Make sure y'all share the live. Comment. Let us know if y'all can hear us. We got some special guests in the building. All right. We're going to get everybody in a second. All right. It is Tuesday. Fresh off a very eventful weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and a very insane Tuesday.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Y'all can hear. Everybody can hear. Okay. Share the live. Heart the
Happy
live.
Tuesday. Share the live. Share the live.
Drop a I did in the comments if you voted today, please.
Cute.
Huh? Refresh.
All right.
Got 50. Why are you showing? Oh, selected. No.
Oh, they use Stringer.
All right. Wait. I want to let's get into our guest first, so we can make sure the live is going smooth. I guess we'll start with Angela. Angela, tell people who you are and what you do, and a little about else.
She's distracted. Angela Backus. I'm the founder and executive director of Resource Augusta.
That was 6 out of 16.
So I
Dang,
track.
time is popular.
I track all of our community resources, personally verify them, and then I go back and re-verify them twice a year to make sure that my information is up to date.
Mm-hmm.
I also work very part-time as the resource program coordinator for State Accountability Court, and I was not sure how to answer that on the Charter Review Committee.
What you mean? Hold on. What you mean was and was? What that mean? And was.
I think after what happened today, it's debatable as to whether or not there is still a committee.
You say is
And-
still a committee?
I think it's debatable. I don't think it's been made clear because the resolution, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to just make sure I get to the next guest first and tell us who you are, what you do, where you're from. I know you're not necessarily from here, so tell us about yourself a little bit.
Hey, everyone. My name is Zakia, and I am the founder of the Ani Project Consulting and governance work for the federal government, and also look at psychological safety and different environments and make sure that people have a voice, they feel trusted. And if the organization doesn't have that, then we can come in, do an analysis and help them get to where people in their organization feel like they can be their authentic self, and so things can run more effectively. Essentially, I'm a culture strategist. And no, I'm not from here. We've been here about 3 years, came from the DC area.
Mm.
And so my background is in HR management, EEO. And so I'm glad to be here. And lately, I've been focusing on a lot of things in Augusta. And It's kind of like when you watch the documentary What the Health, and after you watch it, you're like, oh, I'm not eating that, and I wish I never saw the documentary. Well, over the last couple of months, since I've been diving into what's been going on locally, I wish I was back to being naive back in
Not
December
knowing.
before I didn't know what was going on.
Because once you learn,
It's hard to not see
once
or
you
hear.
learn,
Yes.
it's over with. Hey,
Yes.
y'all.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
y'all, we are live. Y'all go to Augusta News Network, AUG Explain page if y'all want to see all the guests that's here. Yeah, y'all, it's election night. It's election night. It's election night. But
I
there's a lot
voted
of stuff
today.
that happened in the city, so we're gonna talk about elections, but not really. We'll wait because what is it? 6 out of 16. So we'll wait. Right now, Miss Sheila and Thomas McAdams is up right now with the most recent refresh. So we'll see. We shall see. It's looking like Sheila and Thomas is running neck to neck. So we might have one Democrat and one Republican go into the runoff. So yeah.
But what is it? 10 more polls got to get turned in.
It's 16 polls, 16 precincts altogether.
Okay.
So 6 has been updated so far. And right now, the people that's in the lead is Sheila Nelson Clark, which she was previously the representative in this seat. And then Thomas McAdams is new to the race. He is a Republican, and he is over there in the Hallelujah. I feel like I'm the person that helped him, like, push, like, his community to support him. Like, I feel like me making a big deal about them removing my signs and stuff like that made, anytime you make a big deal about something, people swarm to support. It can be dead wrong, but they're going to swarm to support it. So I feel like I helped him out in that department by mentioning I should have never said nothing, but it's okay. It's okay. His people came out, though, because 274 people have voted for him. So shout out to both of the leading people right now. We got, I want to say I was at 122 votes. So shout out to everybody who did vote and people that was thoroughly confused. At the end of the day, I think I'm still going to do the work of getting people engaged and involved and understanding. I did not know that people voting was this complex. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't know that people lack this level of understanding. To me, I thought it was straightforward. When you put in www.mvp.sos.ga.gov, it tells you everything that you need to know about who you are as a registered voter in Augusta, Georgia. But today, I have received 27 phone calls, and all 27 of them were thoroughly confused on voting. Whether it was me even saying, well, you're not in this district. People not understanding that this was a specific district and that it's 5 different representatives that represent the city itself on the state level, not even understanding that there are people that represent Augusta on the state level and it's spread out over 5 different people, but people do not know that. So when they were saying like here at Brigham polling location was closed, I said, well, here in Brigham isn't part of this district. But I also stated that when I found out that here in Brigham was going to be the early voting location, I stated that people was going to be thoroughly confused because that's not a typical location that's open for this district, period. So, but we got people in charge who I feel like don't be thinking things all the way through. Yes, here in Brigham has the most traffic, but for this particular district, and they did it last minute too, as far as adding a second polling location, knowing all the traffic and all the construction that's going down downtown. And I'm not making no excuses, y'all, because listen, this race is the race, baby. I did the work, and we still up in May again, so I still got to go out and do more work. So I'm just saying that during my first run, I am learning out how much, and I keep saying my community, my age group, my generation, we are so far gone. And I feel like if we just read, like it ain't even a lot of reading because I swear I give it to you step by step. But if we just read, it would be so much easier, like so much easier. But the phone calls that I received today was really disheartening, to be honest, because I'm thinking, okay, well, now go to the site, scroll on the site, and you gonna see what district you're in. And if that's not your polling location, then you can't vote in this particular district. But again, like I said, nobody knows that it's 5 of us, then 10 commissioners. They have no clue. All people know is November election, presidential elections. That's all we know. That's all a lot of people know.
But what do you think the source of that is? Do you think it's just age and not reading, or do you think that people have mentally disconnected because they stopped being heard in the
I
process?
think they mentally disconnected because they see, just like what happened today in the commission. I feel like the reason why the community is so disengaged is because of things that happened, like what happened in the commission today. The people spoke up. Y'all can say that it wasn't a lot of people, but these are the people that's involved. It'll be a difference if the whole 200,000 people was participating and voting in Augusta. That's not the case. You get less than 5,000 people that participate, and 10% of that was in that room today. So the people who are involved in this process, because everybody ain't gonna be involved in this process. You ain't gonna have everybody paying attention because it's too complex. It's like law. People don't like things that's complex. That's why our literacy rate is so low, but people hate things that's too complex. Politics is so complex. This whole process with the charter review is a very complex process. And if you didn't start from the beginning, you will be completely confused at what's going on right now. You're going to think that what they are doing is okay because you came in on the front end. Oh, this looks like a great thing that's going to help the city. But it's not. It just looked good. It's polished well. It looks good on paper, but it's not. But if you hadn't followed the process, you don't know it. You just think that's something good. And I feel like that's how I voted for the mayor. I voted for the mayor because it looked good, right? He was the most visible. He was speaking well. Sometimes we got to stop with the polished individuals, the people who are politic ready, and get somebody who's not politic ready, but people ready. They love the people. They love to support the people. They love to be there for the people. He is still the mayor of Augusta, but he is not representing Augusta the way I thought for my vote, to be completely honest. That's my vote. This is my opinion for whoever wants to think of it. This is my opinion. I voted for Mayor Garnett Johnson. I know exactly why I voted for him, but he is not a good representation for the city of Augusta in its entirety. Now, is he a good representation for certain parts of the community, the city? Absolutely. They are benefiting in numbers all the time. You can tell, but is he doing it for the vast majority? He thinks because he did Food Truck Fridays that supplements for what he said he was going to do for small businesses. There's only a select group of people who have food trucks. That's not a small business helping small businesses. So for me, everything that he said was a lie, but I also got to shout out to everybody who, like Kelby Walker and the people that you don't really respect them because they blunt, they straightforward. The Rain Frasers, the ones that don't give it to you sweet and polished. Y'all hate them. We hate the people who give it to us raw, direct, no filter. We hate them, but they tell the truth. They all told us that we should not necessarily vote it for Mayor Garnett because, quote unquote, he wasn't for the people. He was just a poster boy. And that's exactly how it comes off. If you watch the commissioner meetings, he is the poster boy for other people. But is he doing the work for the community? Absolutely not. Y'all sent off a document. The people didn't ask them to change the charter. We did not ask the charter committee to be formed. We did not. The people didn't. The mayor formed the charter committee to benefit him and his agenda. Now y'all saying, oh, the people want it on the people want the charter on the ballot. No, y'all want the charter on the ballot because it's election season.
Some of the people want the charter on the ballot.
Some of the people do want the charter on the ballot. However, what are we rushing it for? What is wrong now? Fixing the charter doesn't fix the internal issues like the $6.8 million that's gone. This charter is not going to correct all these issues that's already existing today, right now. But the only thing we're focusing on is the charter, which there's nothing necessarily. It's things that's wrong with it, but it ain't in a dire need that it need to be changed right now, today. None of that. That's not what needs. Our Constitution is not defective where it needs to be changed right now, how they're rushing it. What they kept saying is, okay, by we need to have this done by March the 14th. March the 14th. March the 14th. Why, though? Why?
And we learned today because they want to have an ad, because they have to have an ad in order for it to make it to the next process. But that was not explained to anyone until today. And
but why would that not have been included in the resolution that, as of tomorrow, was signed a year ago?
Right.
So because it listed our deadline as being March 31st, did they not know these other deadlines at the time?
Well, it appears that you have to pull information out of the contractor,
Wait,
attorney, because remember today when the question came up about were they doing things procedurally, and he was like, well, not really, and he said, well, why did you, Commissioner Jordan asked, why did you tell
Yeah.
us? Because no one asked. So is
Yeah.
he only going to give information when asked?
Yeah.
That doesn't really make sense to me.
I mean, that's what he said the procedure is in our committee. But even in my opinion, when I have asked, it's hard to get a definitive answer. And I think that was the really huge difference. And I want to say it was Wayne Guilfoyle that mentioned it in the meeting today, where he said that the marshal's office said that there was a couple of current commissioners and old commissioners in the lobby laughing last week after our meeting. I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing too. I was so excited that we actually followed our rules, because how are we a committee that is our job is to create rules for our local government, but
We
we
don't
can't
follow
follow
them.
any
No.
rules.
And
There's no
that's another
accountability.
thing. And I do want to talk about that too. I want to talk about the mere fact that because the government, and when I say the government, I'm talking about our elected officials, the ones that sitting in the seats. And if y'all don't know, y'all just go do y'all research. Like, it's simple. Go AugustaGA.gov, type in commissioners, you get to see everybody that's a commissioner. You want to know what district you in, go to your voting page. Like, a lot of this stuff is just really straightforward. You just don't want to go to look for it. But because of all the stuff that's going on, that's why we got Trump in office. We got Trump in office for stuff like this. Not paying attention. Want to make people who are loud and vocal the problem when they are not. They are not the problem. They're the ones that's trying to get y'all to understand what's going on in reality. People were very loud, very, very out there talking about Project 2025.
Yes, that's true.
Everybody.
Yeah.
But just like now, people are talking about what's going on in the city of Augusta, and we're loud about it, and y'all will still go out there and vote on it. Still, when you know you haven't even been part of the process. So if you hear a lot of people saying the same thing about a specific thing, wouldn't you just trust them instead of that one elected official?
Or go research it
Or
for yourself.
10 elected officials. It's 10 against the whole citizen. Y'all think that we as the citizens are benefiting off of telling us the truth? Like, be for real. We're not getting no benefit off of telling the community what's going on in the government. There's no reward for this. None whatsoever. There's no reward. It's just the reward is that we get more penalized by not knowing. And the penalization happened today. Because we don't know, and we can't do anything about it too. That's another thing. We can't do anything about it, and they know it. Because we have such a low turnout when it pertains to voting in general, they know that the voters can't do anything. In order to recall a bad elected official, you need 30% of the voters to come back out. No, explain it.
They sign a petition.
They sign a petition. You need 30. So if we got 110,000 registered voters, we need 30% of that to come out to vote. Come out to sign a petition just to recall a commissioner. When right now, today, this election, we have 972 people that participated out of 38,000 people.
It's at
38,000.
1338 right now.
Okay, so we got 1,300 people out of 38,000 people. Like,
That's a problem.
that's a problem. And that's why they go in the office and they do whatever they want to do because we cannot hold them accountable. Today, what happened? I feel like we should have did an injunction. We should. That should not be going. It should be stopped right here. We should be going to the Superior Court and filing an injunction. But it costs too much money. We can't afford it as citizens. We can't afford to file an injunction against our government to stop them from doing something that's harmful. It's right. when you go to speak on the speak to the dais, the commission, you have to follow their rules. You have to sign up to speak. And if you don't speak. But for us, when it comes down to the citizens, our commission, our elected officials, they do not have to follow no rules. And the reason why they don't have to follow no rules is because there is nobody to hold them accountable. We keep saying accountability, 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 accountability. That's my little rant. So, what y'all got? Because, yeah, I can go on this all day. I feel like what happened today was an embarrassment to the city. And I know exactly why elected officials just walk in seats because whatsoever. We just do whatever we want to do. And I'm not going to say we as the citizens, but our government does whatever they want to. And they are never penalized or chastised, and that is the reason why they keep doing whatever they want to. And again, when you're living good in a city, you don't give a fuck about the ones that's not living good in the city. Nobody complains. As a commissioner, not one of my commissioners have ever complained about struggling in the city that they live in. Don't even know what poverty is. Wayne Guilford came on last year and said, people ride the city bus. He didn't even know that people ride the public transportation as a commissioner. That's how disconnected he is. And these are the people that we put in office. And his seat is up too this year. Ben Hassan, he gonna be on that. But yeah, so a lot of stuff we just got to start paying attention to. And I know it's a lot of information, but I swear, y'all, that is why I created the page. I created this page so we can dumb this stuff down so that we can all get involved in some shape, form, or fashion. Like, we all need to get involved. If we don't get involved, our city is going to be continuously labeled as a certain group of people run the city. And it is true. It's true. Because those are the ones that get out and vote. The people that get out and vote run the city, literally. Monique was calling me, but what y'all got? How y'all feel? Y'all was at the meeting too. So how y'all feel about the meeting? It's so much that happened. I kind of jumped all over the place. I really want to talk about it, but it was a lot of stuff that happened at the meeting. But the most important thing is that no matter what happens, they're never going to listen to the citizens unless it's a citizen they want to listen to. So if it's a citizen on their side, like a Law Brandon, they're going to come up there, they're going to let them talk and ride it. If it's a citizen on their side, they're going to get what they want. But when it's one that's not on their side, nah, it ain't going to happen.
Hey, y'all, can y'all see the TV?
Yes.
Q, do you want me to?
Hey,
you want me to play that video of Ben speaking?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Like, people know these celebrities' business. That's what I be saying. They know the celebrity business. They need to know what's going on in their local. That's how I feel too. I feel like everybody should know their elected official, especially when you're living in a district. Like,
They said that they lost. Okay.
No, it's back. Yeah.
You say they what?
But sometimes you have to push back. I don't know if you all are aware, but last week, well, since I started speaking, my first time speaking to the commission was the 20th of January. And I put in my form that due to security reasons, I didn't want to state where I live. And so each time I've been trying to speak, they keep asking and I keep saying the same thing. Well, last week I cited where in the policy and procedures that it says that we do not. It's not a part of the Georgia open meeting that you have to state it publicly. As long as it's on file with the clerk, you don't have to state it. So I think we have to also recognize some of the small successes. And I agree with Q, education and awareness is the key. So for all of you watching right now, hashtag, you don't have to state your address publicly. You can say that you only want to share it with the clerk. Education is the key, y'all. We have to educate.
Get back to education.
Education.
We got to get back to the standard of education, especially in our community, where the standard was very high to be an educated black woman, black man, black kid, anything black and educated was the standard. We need to go back to being a standard. There is no reason for us to be having the conversations that we be having. Y'all, at the end of the day, nobody's gonna do the work for y'all. As much as y'all want people to do something for you, you want the citizen of the commissioners to do the work for you. They're never going to do it. They don't work for you, and they showed it time and time again. And that's what the citizens on the outside keep saying. They don't work for you. I just had a whole conversation earlier about the attorney. The attorney represents the city of Augusta. He does not represent the citizens of Augusta. He represents the government entity. That means he represents the commissioners, all of them, all 10 of them, the mayor, and anybody that works for a government, but he doesn't work for us. The commissioners, they do what is going to protect the city of Augusta, not the citizens. That's why the citizens never get their way. The citizens hardly ever get the things that they want. If it's 50 people that come and say we don't want no data center, to me 50 is enough based off our voter turnout. 50 people is enough to speak up on something. Them 25 people that was in that room today, 35, 50, whatever it was, that was enough to represent the community that actually votes in the city of Augusta. That's enough. That's enough. So
Is that like grading on a curve?
yeah, sure is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think part of the problem
Hey,
is
y'all.
to the time of day of the meeting, and
It
it was
is.
very last minute. So if people were working, it was a little
Want
too
to play the
late.
video or not?
Huh?
Not
them
now. I'm
to
just
put
saying.
in
Want to play the
notice.
video?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we gonna play Ben Hassan video when he was at this neighborhood alliance meeting on this past Saturday. He called out the mayor. So y'all watch this.
And also pay attention to body language.
Yes.
Pay attention to the commissioners. Y'all don't know them, especially on my live. Y'all don't know them, but one of the commissioners, she walks out. The other commissioner, he starts reading the paper. Mayor Garnett and his wife start talking to each other, so nobody's really paying the constituent any attention. So take note to that. All right, so turn that around. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, I got it up now.
Oh, you can't hear it though. They can hear it.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Oh, dang. Well, y'all go to Augusta News Network and watch it. Watch the live.
Oh, it said they
watch
can't hear
the,
either.
The video of former Commissioner Ben Hassan. But yeah,
Well, I think the main thing too about this is not necessarily about what is said, but look at the table. Like he start talking. I'm gonna pause it. Who's in the blue hat with the check?
Oh, that's Don Clark.
hold on, y'all. Let me show you.
Yeah, I'm already knowing this one.
They said that they can't hear it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, here. The people in the
Jada, yeah.
All right, so y'all look.
I don't know if
I want
mine
y'all
is.
to pay attention to this. That's Ben Hassan. He is the former commissioner, and he's now running for District 10. You need to vote for him. Find out what District 10 is. All right. This is Mayor Garnett, and this is his wife. This is Commissioner Dunn Clark for District 5. This is Tina Slivack right here. Tina Slivack from District 7, which is Washington Road area. This is Alvin Mason. He just came. He was a commissioner last year. He went out because he was sick, and now he's trying to come back. We don't need to vote him in. All right, so that's Alexia Payne. But y'all watch the body language. Now watch this. Watch this.
So I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna back it up to when he come up there and start talking. Just look at everybody.
Okay. So y'all pay attention to the body language of the people. Now these are your elected officials. This is how they treat the constituents. Y'all can't hear it, but it's playing on the other one.
He pick up a paper, and they just start disregarding him.
They are not paying attention to him at all. He basically telling them how they're doing, not necessarily doing a bad job, but calling them out on some things that wasn't benefiting the community. There you go. See? Keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. All right, so this Mayor Garnett is like they're not paying attention at all. Now Clark is reading the paper.
Thoroughly, by the way.
Early reading the paper. Hey, this is another commissioner.
So, in all fairness, I do just want to say she was going to the bathroom because I was on the opposite side and I saw her mouth the words asking where the bathroom was. So
All of them
Yeah.
was pretty much not engaged with what was going on. For the most part, nobody was truly interested in what he was saying. Now, Ben is one of them people who they quote unquote problem child. Those are the ones that y'all don't want to pay attention to, but they got the most knowledge, the most truth. They know the most facts about all these people that's been in office. Why? They grew up with them. They done seen them. They been around them. They worked with them. Everything. He has the history on them. So 9 times out of 10, the stuff that he says is true. It's true. It's true about the people that's currently in office. Because these people have been in office for a very, very long time. Y'all, it's been recycled. All they do is go from district to district to district to district. Or work for the government or work on a board, a committee that's behind the scenes on a board here. That's it. But the circle looks the same. Every room I've been in, I see the same exact people. Not the community, the same exact people in every single room. So are they really working for the community or working for themselves? Because it's the same people in every room.
Hey, Q, talking to your mic, please.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. But hey, Ken, Angela, if you don't mind, do you mind, like, I know we didn't have the audio playing for it, but could you at least tell us or give us a summary of what Ben was talking about? 'Cause I think that's important as well. And then you being very attached to it, I know you can speak on that.
So Ben was referring to the surprise resolution that came out on Friday. As of tomorrow, a year ago, there was a resolution created that formed our charter review committee and actually authorized us to review the charter and come up with a proposed charter. On Friday, we were all hit with a special meeting, which was scheduled for this morning, and attached to that was a resolution that said basically they wanted to move forward with just the city manager portion of the proposed charter, even though I personally have an active motion and Eric Gaines has an active motion regarding city manager. So that's what he was talking about. I believe he said that, and I don't want to misquote, so I'm sorry if I do. I think he said that the mayor hijacked the process.
Yeah.
Because in the resolution, the original one from a year ago, it made it very clear that elected officials, local elected officials, were to be hands off in this process. And consistently throughout the process, that has not been the case. And this is just another example. Our due date wasn't even until March 31st.
Right.
And we had the ability to extend if needed. So,
yeah, but we all still sitting like, what's the rush? And again, the answer that Brandon gave was just, we want to put it on the ballot. We want to get it out to the voters. What voters? What voters is asking you to get it out to them? They aren't.
Can you talk a little bit more about when Garrett was saying that he drafted the document that was presented today, and that he got
that he only talked to.
He talked to the chamber.
Supar from
I don't
the
even know
chamber.
who that is, but can you talk about why would he talk to the Chamber of Commerce, and how come the committee didn't have any input on it?
So the Chamber of Commerce is going to be involved in anything having to do with business. Supar is, she was the president of the chamber. She retired, so now she works as a consultant with them. So he talked to, according to Brandon, Supar and Max Burns, who is one of the state senators that covers the Richmond County District. So he heard from two people and created a resolution based upon that.
Yep. So that's another thing. One of our commissioners consulted with only 2 people, a state representative. Now I told y'all it's 5 of us that represents.
No,
not that.
It's 7.
It's
so
7.
he's a senator.
No, he's a
not
senator. My bad.
representative. Yeah.
So he talked to the senator. But Harold is a senator too.
Yes.
Right.
Why didn't he talk
So,
to him?
but he didn't consult another senator that represents Augusta. He just talked to one. But either way it go, he talked to 2 people, drafted a resolution to pretty much do away with the charter and send what was done, or sent what was already done, or what you guys already, what was it that you already?
The proposed language for city manager. So the biggest difference between city administrator and city manager is whether or not the manager has the ability to hire and fire the department heads. ultimately the administrator is over them. They're supposed to be doing performance evaluations and all that kind of stuff, which we found out in this process hasn't been done in over 8 years.
Mhm.
Ridiculous.
No
but-
accountability.
Yeah, so, but also the administrator does not have the authority to hire department heads or fire them. That is a commission choice. So the idea with the city manager is you separate between what is politics and
What's
the
business.
business. So that's, I agree with the city manager form of government.
It's just not
My
the way.
concern is the language. We had Dr. Kimberly Nelson from UNC Chapel Hill come and visit with us via Zoom several months ago. Carl Vinson Institute had brought her in as a subject matter expert, and she explained to us very thoroughly. She did research on over 2,000 municipalities across the nation, and what she found was the council manager form of government is least likely to have corruption. And so we did. When they said that, we voted unanimously in this resolution for that. We did vote unanimously for that. But the problem was, throughout the process, we made other decisions that negated that decision and actually created a hybrid form of government between council manager and strong mayor, which does, according to Dr. Nelson, does not deliver on the advantages of either. And so one of my motions is to correct part of that. Currently, it says that the mayor will submit up to 3 candidates and that the commission votes on it. So the mayor also votes now. Keep in mind, that is the practice now, but that was also created, that policy was created before the mayor had a vote. So now he's going to select a candidate and also vote on them. So, and then the other part of that is, and Dr. Nelson in her email to me, which I shared with the entire commission so they can't play ignorant on this. For instance, let's just say I'm the mayor and I'm going to put forth you as the candidate. Are you qualified? Are you the most qualified? And if the commission doesn't vote for you, I can just put you forward again. And I can keep putting you forward as the candidate until they finally cave in and hire you. Otherwise, we get left with an interim manager or whatever the position is, because in the new proposed charter, that is for general counsel, city manager, internal auditor, and clerk of commission.
Thank you. Well, since both of you have more insight than I I'll be for over 13 months.
So Attorney Brown retired in August of 24.
Oh, so it's been almost 2 years.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, what has this? Do you all know what the search has been like? It's not that hard to find attorneys.
Dang, somebody just inboxed me and said, hey, when does the voting end?
The voting.
And this is why I be saying we don't read at all. Because when I say almost anybody picture that's out here that's voting, got the date on it. Today is the election day. Today is election day. We got, if there's a runoff in this race, which 9 times out of 10 it will be, that'll be April the 7th. So the people have to come back on April the 7th. And then we have the actual primary election in May, where you come back out in May.
May
And
19th.
then you got to come back again in November. Yes.
Hey, but Q, I do want to say one thing. I think a lot of times when we campaigning, we was talking about why it's important, or the importance of voting early. And so, with today being the only day to actually officially like vote, right? Had people took the opportunity to vote early, you can ask those questions and get those answers, and then move accordingly. But when you ask somebody at 8:38 p.m. when the polls are closed, this is why it is important to go ahead and, even if you don't want to vote early, get those questions out early, because all you've been talking about, I think, to me, your campaign was really go vote now, go vote now, go vote now,
Right.
for a month
And I
now.
feel like a lot of people have, and again, this isn't, most local elections are not covered by the news. As much as y'all want to give them that responsibility, we can't give news any responsibilities. They get to choose what they want to report on. And I think that's something that we haven't processed. We think that the news reports on what's going on in the city. No, they are a business, and their job is to give you guys information about what's going on in the city. They don't have all the knowledge of what's going on in the city. They pick stories to talk about. They pick things to write about. They are just a business. That is it. So you as the constituent, you as a citizen, you have to do your own due diligence. I'm going to forever say this. My biggest lesson in life was when I was 16, and that judge said ignorance of the law was no excuse, and he was ready to send me to jail for a traffic ticket that I did not even know you can go to jail for running a traffic light or a stop sign. You can actually do 12 months in jail for a simple traffic ticket. But again, I was 16, so I asked the judge then, who was supposed to teach me this? He was like, your parents. He said, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. So ignorance of anything, where you reside, because when y'all go to book your trip, your flights and stuff, you're not being ignorant to that. You're finding the location. You're finding the destination. You have itinerary, all of that. The same way we are in these people business, celebrities, the celebrities in the city is our elected officials. Those are our celebrities. You should be all in their business. You should know everything that's going on with them, how the older generation knows what's going on with them because they've been around. But if it isn't interesting or drawing any attention for real, it's likely they won't cover it. Exactly.
Well, also, I do know this from talking to Renetta DeBose, who worked on the news for a while. They do vote on a lot of the things they cover. So sometimes they get people to do the stories. It's filmed, it's edited and everything, and they vote on what they're going to have on air. And sometimes if enough people in the room don't like it, it won't hit the air ever. Right. So they cover everything. They don't show us everything.
It's still a business. They don't cover everything.
No, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They cover everything, but they're not showing us everything.
Right.
What they cover is what they cover, but they're not showing it on news every day. No, definitely not.
It shows 16 out of 16 are reported.
Who up? Sheila?
So Sheila Clark Nelson received 567 votes.
Okay, shout out to Miss Sheila.
33.49%.
And
Thomas McAdams received 340, which was 20.08%. And Karen Gordon received 7 less votes than Thomas.
Dang. So we have an official runoff against Sheila Clark Nelson and Thomas McAdams. Look like the Republicans came out because that's what they do. That's what the Republicans do. They show up and vote because the difference between, now I don't want to throw race, but I know for my people, y'all got to understand. The difference between white and black is they show up where it matters the most, which is in voting, showing up to meetings. They make their presence known in the important places, not just talking on social media. They need this receipt. They need this seat. The Republicans, they need this seat. That's why they came out to vote for him. That's why they came. They need this seat. But yeah, so for the runoff, I'm not making a runoff. Y'all, I wish. No, because I ain't going to say it because then y'all going to be confused. And when I'm on the ballot for May, y'all be like, well, I thought you said vote. Never mind. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Y'all going to be confused. But I'm on the ballot for May, again, for this same seat. Hopefully in May because it's the mayor race. It's the SPLOS. It's the commission. Hopefully in May, we'll get a lot more participation, being that it is a May election. And some people are familiar with May elections, even though it has a very low turnout as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But shout out to everybody who voted for me.
236.
Yeah, 236 people voted for me. So I did the work. I knocked on 1,000 doors. This was a short election. I'm not disappointed. I learned a lot. But I do want more of us to get involved, and I'm still going to preach the same message. I need it. Instead of us complaining so much online, it's better ways to do it if we show up. And you ain't got to be the one to be the front and center. I was gonna sacrifice. But we like the same. We like the old that's going on. That's why we don't come out in mass numbers. I want y'all to treat me how y'all treat when y'all see them pageant girls come up, and it's like 19 of the other race, and that one black or two black girls that's there, y'all run them up. That's how I want y'all to do when y'all go for the May election for me. Run it up. You tired of what's going on? Y'all ain't gonna never see no new faces because y'all don't want to get active. the same stuff happens because we don't want to get active. Oh, that ain't gonna matter, but it's mattering. It's mattering. Vote. Oh, that don't affect me on the Trump thing. That don't affect me. But guess what it is affecting us? Guess what gas is? 309. And it's gonna keep going up. Because there's consequences to us not participating in our democratic system.
I want to highlight what Lakeland put. She put so many people didn't get to vote today due to the incorrect and confusing instructions. And I talked with Lakeland earlier tonight, and people were coming over to what's the
Here in
center?
Brigham?
Yeah, and she was trying to direct them where to go, and she was helping, trying to figure out where they were supposed to go vote. And so many people were confused. So if you would, and you're watching this, either live or on replay, drop in the comments if you try to go vote, but you got confused or turned around, and also put a star emoji if you voted today, so we can kind of track what's going on in the community. Thank you.
I do want to say one thing though. It might come off as negative, but I don't want to be that person. But I do like to be realistic too. And I like Lakeland. I'm a big fan of hers, and she's super smart. And anything Lakeland say, I like. But I do want to say, like, for people that's confused too, I feel like, in essence, I don't know how confused you be to stuff that's super important to you.
Right.
It was important to me to vote today, so I made sure I wasn't confused on today.
Yep.
And it was weeks ahead of time that a lot of us had ample time to not be confused.
Yep. To find out, to ask questions.
One day I checked my mail. It was just one random day. I hate checking my mail because of all the bills, right? And I happened to check it, and it moved my voting poll. I normally vote on P. Georgia Road at that church over there. It moved my voting poll to Gracewood. But because it was important to me, I knew that. I kept that information with me, and I seen the date, took a picture of it, and when it was time to vote, I knew to go to Gracewood. So I didn't have no issues today. It took me literally 3 minutes in and out. Very quickie, like-ish. So I don't know. To me, I feel like if it's important to you,
if it's important,
then you know, you don't be confused. For the people that are confused with politics, that's what we here for too, week in, week out, and we try to get the information out. So even today, like having the people I have on you, everybody that's on the microphone right now, and I feel like y'all all have great information every day, every week. Angelo puts paragraphs in our comment section as I cut to her while she laughs, and it's in vital information. So even if you like the entertainment side of things, and you watch this weekly, this is another way you cannot be confused. We were saying it, no lie, every single week, every Tuesday between 8 and 10, we were saying what to do. Make sure you go early vote. Make sure you go early vote.
But for the May election, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna go live probably 3 or 4 times a week. I think I'm gonna do something different just because I feel like the calls that I received, it's so heartbreaking the number of calls that I received today, like from the time to even with the polling locations. I understand it, but I'm not going to babysit them. They just didn't check, if that makes sense. It says, everybody thing says House District 130. Even if you don't know what it is, as when they post like Rihanna business or JT business or whoever, we go do research. We going to get the history, the pages, all that other stuff to make sure that we have all the facts to tell their business, right? And I'm talking to us. But with us, with something important as how we live, we don't do hardly nothing. The District 130, I was specific. Like, I know I was very specific about certain stuff, but District 130 consisted of specific districts. I also tried to educate and say, hey, we got 10 districts total. We got 10 commissioners, but this ain't the same. This is on the state level. This is on the local level. 2 different things. But nobody read it. Nobody cared enough. As far as the wrong polling locations, what I learned today about the polling locations is that in your My Voter account, it said that you weren't supposed to go to here in Brigham. It was actually correct. You just wasn't in my district. That's why I was saying, y'all, check this link first. Y'all click on this, put your information in, check and make sure you're in 130 first before you go to vote. Because it would have told you before you got there that you wasn't in this district. And I keep, like, it's so much stuff that we got to, like, that we need to know about our city, about the people that represent our city. it was very disheartening, but it was also one of them things like, okay, we ain't doing enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. Y'all don't know enough. Y'all don't know enough to get actively engaged so that the things that different people who are being elected who do know enough, and it's not that they know enough, they just got the support of voters, which is under 10,000 people when there's 200,000 people in this city. So because they have this small amount of people that vote all the time, they control everything because they show up to vote and they pay attention. But yeah, we got to do. We got to.
Hey,
do better.
can I ask
We gotta
Angela a
do
question?
better.
Hey, and do you mind, Angela? I know we ask you all the time, but do you mind at least like speaking of education, educating people, telling people that's watching it right now like what the charter review actually does and what it's for? I know it probably sound mundane, but I think that's super
They
important.
don't know.
So the charter is essentially our constitution. It lays the foundation for our local government. It says who is responsible for what. It has different layers of accountability in there, or at least it's supposed to. Well, it does, but whether or not it's followed.
It actually enforced the follow.
So, for instance, it says that we have a mayor and 10 commissioners. It says what their duties are. So really, it's the foundation for what we do. We were established a year ago. I believe it was the mayor's initiative for that resolution to establish our committee and review the charter. It has been reviewed since consolidation, which was 30 years ago, but it hasn't been changed because I believe the previous review kind of, I don't know if failed is the right word, but we'll go with that one. So this is the first big overhaul, or at least it was supposed to be the first big overhaul. Right now we don't. It's kind of left in
Limbo.
Whose idea was it? Like, because we didn't always have a charter review, right? This is something new, correct? Well, whose idea was it to build this and have this this going on?
So it was the mayor that brought it forth. If you remember, 2 years ago, this May was the vote for the mayor's vote. And then from what I saw from media articles and news reports, it was July of that same year, so 2 months after he got the vote to be able to vote, that he started pushing for the charter review.
Okay, got you. I wanted to just be clear on that part as well, because
Can we also talk about it's important to note that for the charter review, each commissioner
Chose.
appointed. Yes,
Appointed.
They appointed a member. So you have to pay attention to that. To, for example, today, if you go back and watch the live about the commission meeting at 10 o'clock a.m., the gentleman named Mr. Fouché, who spoke and told Commissioner Johnson that he felt that he was being intentionally dense. He was appointed by the current District 10 Commissioner Guilfoyle.
Who's
Let
up
that
for
sink in.
re-election?
And who's going for re-election. So I think it's important, as Q and many of the people online keep saying, you have to do your own research and your own due diligence. Do that. So if you have a question about someone who's on a committee review, please go back and look to see who appointed them. And one thing that really stuck out to me, maybe the second town hall, a gentleman came up to speak. He made his point, and then he said, honestly, it really doesn't matter. They already have the votes, and they already decided what they were going to do. And me being new to really reviewing this process, I'm like, that's ridiculous. The input from the people has to matter. I now completely understand why he made that statement, because it unfolded today live before my very eyes.
So, and I did make this public on my Facebook page back in July when I did my my wonderful charter review post, because I like receipts. I like receipts a lot, and I like to show them to the community when I feel like my community is being lied to. And that's what I feel like happened at our charter review town halls, when they would come up with a concern and they would say the word on the street says, and they would be dismissed being told that that's an urban myth, and it was all just part of their imagination. So this is an email June 17th from Steve Fouché, the gentleman you were referring to. And part of what he says is the tenor of our main committee is that we need to suggest the mayor should have more power in this new charter.
Wow.
So he was very blunt. He has been throughout this whole process. As much as we think that they've hidden stuff, they really haven't. They've said a lot.
It's just not believing it.
Yeah. So
Really don't. I'm not rarely at a loss for words, but that goes back to what she was saying about Project
2025.
Yes, they laid out what the plan was. I know it was a very long document, and not everyone read it, but it told us step by step what was going to happen.
Right.
And guess what? Step by step, every single one of those things are happening.
All right. So we don't talk about something else because I know like talking about this stuff could really get heavy at a certain point in time. But I do want to say things that we can do. Something happened. I'm going to post about it and we'll probably talk about it later tomorrow. But something happened and we need our representatives, the delegation, to not push it forward. So I'm going to post on the Augusta News Network who to call. We're supposed to be calling Brian Prince, who is a state representative, and he's the chair
of our local delegation.
He's the chair of our local delegation. So we are supposed to contact him and tell him to not pass the charter. Is it the charter? Is it what?
Well, it's a charter resolution.
It's a charter resolution for them to not pass it.
But so the representatives that are part of our delegation, normally it's 7, but with Lynn Gladney stepping down, it leaves us with 6. So there's Max Abbott and Mark Newton. Those are the 2 Republicans. And then you have Carlton Howard, Brian Prince, Elsie Miles, and Harold Jones.
Okay.
And those
so
are the
I'll
Democrats.
post everybody that we're supposed to contact with pretty much. I know we all over the place, but something happened at the commission, the special call meeting this morning. We were there. We were part of it. All we saying is community listen. It's too much for us to really be explaining to y'all because unless you're in the thick of it, you're never going to be able to process all the stuff that's going on. You really got to be part of the process, and that's the overwhelming. That's why I be breaking it down so we can understand what be going on because it's so much information. It's so much. But when the community folks are telling you guys to do X, Y, and Z, you should absolutely do it because they are part of the process. It's so many back rooms in Augusta. It's so many rooms that y'all have no clue about that's making decisions on y'all behalf. When the people, the public, the regular citizens come out and say, hey, that's not right. Y'all need to do this. You do actually need to do it because it's power in numbers. The only reason we're coming out asking the community to help is because the only way to fight what's going on is if there's a large number of us doing it. But, yeah.
So can I say something, though, too? I actually was a little disappointed when I walked in there this morning that there wasn't more people.
Yeah, me too.
But at the same time,
it's 10 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday.
That's part of it, and it was last minute. But taking into consideration, too, we just held 3 town halls. And for each one of them, we asked people to come out to use their voice and to be heard. And yet they tried to push a vote on our draft charter last week before any of our motions that came as a result of those town halls could ever be heard. According to our own rules and procedures, we cannot hear those motions until March 19th. So there was no possibility of a vote last week. They're not used to having to follow the rules because they haven't had to. And so I think part of it is the community did hear the call. They did show up to the town halls, and they still were not heard. So even though I heard them, I wasn't able to act on it by the time somebody tried to come in and essentially hijack it. So the end result is still them not being heard. The other thing we need to do is, as a community, we need to make sure that we're not always ringing all of the alarm bells for everything.
The boy that
because
called
because otherwise, when we do send out the alarm bell, you know, my stepsister, her father-in-law said to her one time, you got to stop screaming at your kids like they're about to run into traffic, because when they run into traffic, they're not going to listen to you because it's the same scream. Like, if you got something to say to your kids, you got to have different levels and tones. And I think we make everything urgent and super important, which kind of, when we end up running in front of a car, they don't hear us.
And I agree. And I feel like this is one of them stances. I don't know how effective it would be. I do feel like with this, the way that everything has come about pertaining to the charter, the people that's sitting at the state level, if they agree, right, I would have a different level of respect for them, right? Because I'm not gonna say my because reason, but I would have a different level of respect for them if they say, yes, we're gonna put this on the November ballot. However, if they put it on the November ballot, y'all, if they put it on November ballot, we're to vote no for it. Simple. Just vote no. That's the only thing you can do. It's either accept what they've done or vote no to what they've done. And I know that sounds horrible because we got people who volunteered their time. She volunteered 12 months of her life to modify, to change our charter. And for the end, like, this is like, but I said this too. Not that I won't never work for money, but working for the government, doing something on the government behalf when everybody else around y'all is getting paid, to me just never made sense. Car Events Institute, $320,000. Every single one of the commissioners get paid. The mayor get paid. But y'all volunteering 12 months of your life unpaid.
Well, and then essentially we get a termination notice kind of last Friday without even sending it to us. It's just put out to the media. So, but also if we can just real quick, the importance of Friday and why they were trying to push it on Thursday is they wanted it to go as a general bill. So it has two options normally, although it violates the actual charter or the resolution to push it as a general bill. They don't follow rules anyway. So, but as a general bill, it would skip past our delegation essentially and go to the legislature, and the legislature would have the ability to change anything that they wanted. So maybe the things that they couldn't on the local level on our committee get away with changing, then they can blame the Republicans who dominate and have the majority at the state level for those changes, and then it just goes back onto the ballot for voters. But who's going to read a 50-page document? And who's going to interpret it? How would you know what was there beforehand? So I think moving forward, regardless to what happens, we have to make sure that we do educate people on this whole process and break it down. Maybe not long-winded paragraphs like somebody mentioned, but bullet points, because I'm absolutely long-winded. So bullet points. I think Dr. Kesey is really good about bullet pointing. She shared something yesterday about the meeting today, and it was broken into different pictures. And I had tried to start doing something similar, and then I saw that. I was like, oh, thank God she did it, because mine would have also included paragraphs in the captions.
But that's the importance of having an inclusive team working together, because you may have some background knowledge. I call her Dr. K, has some as well. And then she also may present differently. Me being new to the community, I don't have as much background knowledge, but I can research. But I have experience at the federal level. I'm working for several different agencies. So when we all come together, we can make magic happen. And it sounds like we've identified collectively one of the areas we need to focus on is building more awareness and education. So we just got to roll up our sleeves, work together to collectively make sure that more people get to the polls, not only in May, and what's the date, y'all? May what?
May
19th, but also in November to make sure we get to the polls. So we have a lot of work to do.
We got a lot of work to do, because that's something, too, people don't even understand. For the seat that I'm running for, in the normal election, is Democrats against Democrats and Republicans against Republicans, right? In the primary, you choose one, or whoever get the most votes from the Republicans move to November. Whoever get the most votes on the Democratic side move to November. then you vote for who's gonna actually be the representative, right? But sometimes we stop at May. That's it. When it's time for November, we ain't coming back out like, dang, didn't I just vote or whatever the nation? But we got to get active in the process of what's going in the big. But we got to get in the city business. We got to be in the city business because guess who about to be in the city business? The FBI. The FBI about to be in the city business. They really is. They just talked about it today.
I heard.
They just talked about it on the commission meeting today. Because that money that we was talking about that's been floating and gone and not, y'all remember when we posted that link and everybody went to apply for that housing assistance and they cut it off after like 24 hours, 48 hours.
That was different money.
That-
I mean, it was still emergency
But when it
rentals,
was the
but it
air-
was from previous. It was COVID money.
Which one?
The 6.4 million was COVID relief.
The one that they are talking about now.
Yeah, that was COVID money.
I thought you said pandemic.
Well, that's the same thing. Pandemic was COVID.
In 2022?
That was COVID money.
But what they saying about the money though? Explain that to the people, please.
What they saying about the money?
Well, today in the meeting, what I heard, I wasn't there in person, but live stream, the consultant was going over everything that they uncovered and how much money could they actually track to a line item. And the mayor said, I'm going to do some rough math. And he did rough math. And there's still 6 point something million.
6.4.
$6.4 million dollars is unaccounted for. And then a commissioner asked a question, and it was clarified that it could just be sloppy administrative work, someone not documenting something, but they don't know.
Or it could be the truth. Like they said, there's a bunch of disbursements that were made that they can't track the cash payments that were made or those transactions because it was poor accounting for the most part. They didn't accurately keep up with the cash portion or they using cash.
I don't think cash. I think it was an issue with
Disbursement checks or something.
reconciling the bank statements with paperwork that didn't exist, from what I understood, because they did talk about United Way. I think United Way dispersed about 13 million, if I remember correctly, but all of their paperwork was in order. So, like, the bank statements matched the checks that were sent out, and they had documents to show that coordinated with the checks to show the people that were receiving them. But some of that paperwork is not there on the HCD side.
I didn't finish watching it, so what happened? Did they say they're going to have to give them more time to research further, and how much more time?
The audit is still going on. That was started last year.
August.
It got pushed back to late part of April that they're still doing the audit for this. Right.
I think they talked about going into legal because a lot of that, especially when you're talking about potentially turning it over to the FBI for an investigation.
I don't think they're turning it over, or because it's federal money, the FBI is in their business.
Well, the FBI reportedly was at the municipal building, I believe, last June. But there also is no proof of wrongdoing, but there's also not proof that there wasn't wrongdoing.
But there
So
has
just
to be
make
some
it
type
clear,
of.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to make it clear, they don't actually have evidence of wrongdoing.
Right, they don't
But
have evidence.
That's a decision that they have to make in legal session, which would be closed behind closed doors.
They don't got no evidence that wrongdoing was wrong. But if anybody is missing $6.8 million, there is some contracts withdrawn. There is some termination. If you steal from Dollar General, they lock you up. If it becomes unaccounted for, you can't find it, they lock you up. But for the government, only in the government do we get to have a felony as the president. Only in the government do we get to mismanage the people money and no consequences happen ever. Only in government do you get away with so much. But being a regular citizen, that would never happen. That's why the citizens need to get involved. Because even though it's such a complex process and it's so much information, just learning the basics, y'all. Just learn who they are at the end of the day. Learn who they are and what they're supposed to be doing for the community. At the bare basics. You can Google that. What is my commissioner supposed to be doing? How do we know him or her or whoever. Like, do your due diligence to know what's going on in the city. And I swear, all this stuff is on AugustaGA.gov. Everything that we talk about, it is Googleable.
But I also think, in all fairness, when we're talking about our commissioners, they're very different.
They are.
Because I avoided politics completely. Politics is not my thing. I don't enjoy it. It drains me. It makes me feel like I need to scrub my soul with a Brillo pad after these meetings. So I don't know how people do it on the regular, because it makes me feel very hyper vigilant, like I'm always on guard. But just working in the community, you see certain commissioners showing up. You see certain elected officials showing up, and then the other ones are completely AWOL. I don't know that I've ever, other than the Neighborhood Alliance breakfast, I don't know that I've ever run into my commissioner at a community event.
Ever.
So, and
That's very telling.
it is.
I'm not doing
But
it.
where are they showing up at? Because they're getting the votes from somewhere.
Well, I think not just in when you look at, one of my favorite T-shirts is purpose over popularity. So what I have found is that sometimes people vote for someone because they like them, they went to high school with them, college with
Yep.
them, they wear the same colors, if you know what I mean. But when you look at what impact they have made or are making, sometimes that takes a back seat to what the substance is of their work that they have done or that they say they're going to do. And that happens in various places within our community, not just the city government and our fraternities, sororities, and church and other organizations. So what I would implore you to do, who is watching, do some more time to look at the substance of someone, not how you like them. You have to separate how you like them as a person to hang out with and what they can actually do for you and your community to bring it forward. It's that's just an observation. This is just the kids speaking, what I've seen. And that could be part of what you're saying, is that you may not see some of those elected officials actually rolling up their sleeves to do the work. They're just taking photo ops. But the reason why is because they got their friends, the homeboys, homegirls, voting for them. And I think that's a greater conversation that we need to have at some time, maybe when we do a panel discussion, because that's something that really has to change.
Right.
Can I ask Zakia a question?
Sure.
Because I think we touched on it a tiny bit, but considering your background, especially in equal opportunity, how did you feel today at the meeting when Mr. Fouché started
Trying to
talking?
move the protected classes.
Well, I touched on this at one of the town halls. I remember I spoke up and said that language is for protected classes. And I said the reason why, and they were saying it's in something. I said, yeah, that's this administration. It's not in any prior administration since like 30 plus years. How did I feel, to answer your question? I was enraged and hurt on the inside. I was more hurt. I was talking to my pastor today, shout out Pastor Smith, after the meeting. And yeah, more than being enraged, I was hurt that in 2026, that this would transpire in front of my face in a government building and no one objected. No one told that gentleman that he needs to sit down. That was totally inappropriate. I believe that he possibly should be removed from the committee if there's still a committee. And I felt that we're taking so many steps back as a community and as a nation, and it is unsat.
How do you receive money to help our cities?
So that's how I felt. I was more, my feelings were hurt because the work that I've been doing for almost 20 years across this nation, from Arizona to the Pentagon, it feels like it almost feels like it was in vain. I know it wasn't, because I know the people in the organizations of which I have helped, but it feels like we are taking so many steps back.
So I just want to read this portion. One of our our committee
Y'all, they
members
trying to remove what the protected classes out of
the
the
equal
charter.
opportunity.
The equal opportunity out the charter. One of the charter members came up today in the commission meeting and said basically that it was African Americans were preferred in the charter to over other people, other classes. That the African American women, he combined it together. So African American women are preferred to be hired over any other class, but that don't reflect nowhere in Augusta, Georgia. But yeah, so yeah.
So one of our committee members, Augustus Palmer, he put a motion to amend the change that was made to equal opportunity. And Mr. Fouché responded back to him via email, and he said, this is part of it. Equal opportunity is not accomplished by carving out favoritism for one race of people, which is what the old charter provision elected to do as a way of ending perceived racism. And then at the bottom, he says, I hope you will reevaluate your position and realize that there are forces operating behind the scenes that want to keep the archaic methods of the past alive. I found out something interesting, and like I said, this was not something I normally kept up with before, but there was our compliance department we were required by the federal government to create a compliance department because they had received so many complaints regarding equal opportunity protections that they were mandated to open a compliance department. What I didn't realize until I joined this committee was that there's an agreement. There's an agreement, an unspoken agreement, when the resolution or the original charter happened, the consolidation, where you would have 5 Black and 5 white commissioners. And actually, on the day where we had old commissioners come and speak to us, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but it was recorded just like all of our other meetings. But there was one man that walked up, an older white man, and he stood up there and he was complaining that it was not equal anymore. First of all, you can't put that rule in writing. It's illegal.
It is.
But
very
he
much.
was complaining that there were now 6 Black commissioners. And I said, but we have 64% of our community is Black. So does that not equate then? And then there's also an unspoken agreement, gentleman's agreement, that when the mayor is Black, the mayor pro tem is white, and vice versa.
Just pay attention. That's why you got to pay attention, y'all.
Only one time has that not happened. But also, if you look at our charter review committee, initially it was Marcy and Tanya was our vice chair, white and Black. And then Marcy and Coach Bryant, white and Black. So it's like we want to put it on paper, like we want to give the visual, like we're all arm in arm. But the reality is, for me, especially coming from Minnesota, this area is incredibly segregated.
I didn't know you were from
It is.
Minnesota. What part?
It is.
I was born in Cambridge.
Oh, okay. I've been out there for business before.
The whole community is segregated,
Oh.
really.
Wow.
It really is, but I mean, sometimes that means that we need to have uncomfortable conversations.
Very much so.
And like I have a friend, she's probably gonna kill me. I was over at her house. She was having a little get together with some of the ladies, and Juneteenth was coming up, and she's like, "Are you going to the Juneteenth?" And I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to. And she, you mean that's a Black thing, and I don't interfere in that space. And she's like, and they were joking with me. They're like, oh, okay, so you're not happy slavery. And I was like, of course I am. But because we were in a safe space and we could have that conversation. So I ended up going and I called her when I pulled up and I was parking. I said, okay, girl, I'm out here. And I was like, yeah, are there any white people on there? And she was like, just one guy. And I was like, because he's lost. So we're just so we're joking. I said, look, I'm throwing your name out there. If anybody's like, what? But when I got home that night,
Clip that.
this random Facebook friend that I don't really know, just very vaguely connected to, she posted that night and she said, where was everybody at? We show up for Cinco de Mayo. We show up for
That's
St.
a good
Patrick's
point.
Day.
That's a good example. Very good.
And so I was like, oh, thank God that, my girl and her friends, we had that conversation and it was in a safe space. because I thought I was being respectful.
You, you were, but you have to have those conversations. One of my best friends from high school, her name is Shannon, and she's white. I'm obviously black, but we have these conversations where she doesn't understand something culturally, although she, I believe, feels very comfortable within our community. And when I have a question, I ask her. But I think it's good that in those what you call safe spaces, you begin to have them. But I think we can branch out and have them in a more broader form so that other people can hear what the answers are. Of course, we're not a monolith. I don't speak for all black women who have disabilities. I'm pretty sure you don't speak for all white women that have blank. But when we have the uncomfortable conversations and when we have them out loud in front of other people, it can plant a micro seed that have perhaps that they can learn from, and maybe they have the courage to ask some of the questions respectfully to someone else. Even about the hair conversations. Have you ever had someone come up and ask questions about your hair, try to touch your hair? Or I have in meetings where I'm the only brown girl in the meeting, people asking, "Oh, so did your hair grow?" Or, so I don't even remember, but weird questions. But you have to sometimes you can be very blunt or try to make it a teachable moment in those times.
Depending on how it comes off.
That's it.
Depends on how it come off.
Exactly.
Some of
Yeah.
these people,
Yes.
they know exactly what they be doing. But
Yep. Sneak shade. Yeah.
Yes, the shade. The shade.
Uh-huh.
I actually had the hair conversation the other day with somebody, and it was funny because I was like, when I was in high school, I was like, dang, they don't even have to do their hair every day. They just get up. That is so not fair. But then I didn't realize how much money y'all got to spend and how long you got to sit in them chairs.
Exactly.
And I'm like, shoot, I'm good. So, I mean, it's funny to like trade the pros and cons of each. So, yeah.
Somebody said congratulations in advance. Y'all, the election is over with. So I'm gonna go back over because I know y'all new to the live. So the election is done, y'all. I did not win the special election, y'all. I'm still on the May and November ballot. Well, I'm on the May ballot. Hopefully I'll get to the November ballot. But right now I'm on just the May ballot, right? I just want to specifically say this. I know it's 12 people on here. There is, in the district that I was running for, there is 38,000 registered voters in just this one district. 1,609 voted. That's all they voted. Your livelihood was decided by 1,699 people.
Out of
And y'all chose, I ain't gonna say y'all specifically on my live, they chose the same person that they were familiar with. Well, her camp chose her because they were familiar with her. As far as everybody else, y'all wasn't familiar with us, but y'all didn't come out in record numbers either to be vocal for the other candidates. But because she was previously in this seat, people are familiar with her, typical Augusta behavior. When you are familiar with somebody that was previously in a seat and they didn't do any work then, not to say that Miss Sheila ain't do no work, I don't know. I did not know that she was part of this seat. And I never received a newsletter that she said she sent out to the community. I know for 6 years, nobody knew she existed. They didn't even know that this seat existed. But that small room, remember I was telling y'all about these rooms that I'm in. The rooms that you go in, whether it's to the churches, the neighborhood alliance, the community breakfasts, the same people show up, and those are the people that vote. That's why you got 16,099 people voting, because that's that small number that literally runs the city. Y'all, when we want change so bad, but we don't want to be effective on no front, none whatsoever. We want to keep talking and talking and talking and talking, but never actually doing anything. You want change, but don't want to be part of the change. And nobody's asking nobody to do anything significant other than vote. Like, it's so crazy to me about the voting. Like, even if I ain't never understood, I understood the significance and what it took for us to get a vote in the first place. That alone lets me vote, makes me want to go out and vote because of how hard people had to work just for us to vote in the first place. But just the mere fact that we don't exercise our right, but we complain, and I'm talking about the black community, we complain so much. We control absolutely nothing because we don't participate in absolutely nothing. Anything that's intellectual and effective, like voting, like showing up at the not charter, but the commission meetings, if you can, or just reading. Some stuff is just simply reading and comprehending and asking questions, and we don't do that. We won't do that. I truly want all of us to get involved in whatever it is that's the barrier that people say, whatever that barrier is. Today, I did learn what the barrier is. And the barrier is we just ain't talking about it enough. I don't know how I'm going to make this shit popular, but I'm going to make it popular. I don't know how I'm going to keep talking about it, but we going to make this shit fun because I don't understand why we not taking this serious. And then if we get in the same situation as Trump, as the actual entire country where we're in war, then what? It's a war against the people. It's a war against, well, it is a war against people. That's how I feel. When they're not listening to the people, I feel like it's a war against us.
But I also think today highlights the importance of our legislative delegation. So normally we don't really pay attention because, I mean, it's one tiny representative out of the whole House. But so in order...
Hold on 1 second. You said you registered and voted online. How? How? You can't vote online. You can't vote online. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, you can't vote online. You cannot vote online. You may have registered and signed up to be a registered voter, but you cannot vote online. Not in no election. And I think that's another thing that was extremely confusing. Y'all don't think this is a real election. It is a real election, but you cannot vote online. You could print out your absentee ballot, but you cannot vote online. Or can you? Can you vote online?
No.
Oh, you cannot vote online. So whoever said that they voted online, it took 2 minutes, you cannot vote online. So you ain't vote nowhere. You probably registered to become a registered voter, but you did not vote at all. You have to go to a physical location. And this, when I say I'm going to be, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't like being on live, but I know that we like videos. We'll pay attention to videos more before we'll pay attention to something that somebody wrote. We got to get on one accord. Ain't no way we got to get on one accord. This is too big. And as simple as I thought this is, as far as, I don't know, I just thought it was really straightforward. I don't know. Like, I really thought that voting was really a straightforward process. But like I said, today, all the calls that I received, even with me explaining, hey, well, you may not be in this district. They was like, well, I went to another poll. You're not registered in this district. Well, they don't even have it set up right here. You're not in this district. And not asking the questions like, well, what you mean I'm not in this district? So that you can get more information. You just keep repeating the same stuff. We just got to get better at understanding what is going on in our city and asking questions when we don't understand what's going on instead of assuming.
So I will say,
let's be honest, sadly, everyone cannot read. And I totally agree that everybody cannot read. I do. And I'm going, just like I got out my comfort zone to run, I hate being in the public. Like, I really do. But sometimes other people just ain't going to step up. You just know it. You know that other people aren't going to step up. I'm not afraid to step up, but I am afraid to step up and there's no major support. I am. Because in order for you to be the good guy, you have to have a lot of support from good people. That's just what it is. Every single race, and I'm going to post it one day, but every single race, if y'all go to all these elections, people are walking in these seats with 900 votes, 800 votes.
Yeah.
I think the mayor race, Mayor Garnett won by 13,000 votes. It's 200,000 of us. He won by 13,000 votes. That's it. We don't have enough participation voting in the things that matter. That way, because we don't participate, we get the $21 million deficit. We get the mismanagement of funds when the community actually needed those funds. The community needed those housing funds. I don't care what Angela said that they were supposed to take the funds and build 200 homes?
No,
the first time, hold on.
was
explain that to them.
That was the $3.6 million in homeless housing relief. April of 22, it was released to HCD, and they were supposed to build 800 square foot homes that were going to cost $70,000 to $90,000. And then they changed it the June of 23, and they were going to build 25 tiny homes, which equates to $136,000 a piece. But either way, they did not do either.
Right. So they ain't do either, and they ain't do either. There's no houses, and the money ain't there. But had people, we get involved, this will not happen. All this mismanagement that's happening. When my page first popped off, y'all know how many, everybody that was of an elected official was scared because I was quote unquote the whistleblower. I was the person, I was what they call the lady off of Bridgerton. I was her. Nobody knew who I was, but they knew I was writing about the city. But I never wanted to be hidden about anything. I just want us to understand what's going on in the city in its very layman term. No of the legal jargon, no of the confusing wordings, none of the wordplay. I watched the attorney talk in circles all day today.
That's what happened.
All morning. And I'm going to say this, just because it's to become, I know everything that I need to know. Some people get government jobs specifically so they don't have to do no work. He don't have to do hardly no work, but he get paid salary. That's salary.
He gets paid by the hour.
He gets paid by the hour.
Because he's in interim.
He's a 1099.
Which is why Jordan Johnson said he's paid more than the President of the United States.
He get paid more than from Augusta? From Augusta?
The best thing I did was not actually said the amount per month, and kind of crazy actually.
Well, because they collect on more than
He
one
was on tour.
stream.
We haven't done this today, so do we have comments?
Well, can I just say one thing real quick? So the voters that did go today, they still need to remain engaged.
They do.
And I say that because this resolution that passed through a commission today, the next step is our delegation. So although those state representatives and senators may just be dropped bucket at state level, there's 7 normally. Of course, Representative Hefner stepped down, so there are 6. But in order for that resolution to go forward from there as a local bill and eventually up on ballot, they need 4 votes. So it will be 4 members of our delegation making a decision, whether they vote yes or vote no. So in that selection today, will be one of those people that are part of that 7.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think, okay, well, it's just a bucket, but also consider that is the only place. If you're a Democrat, I'm there. If you're process.
And I think people don't understand that either. Because for the long time, the Democratic Republican Party just do good by people. But I understand why it exists. I understand wholeheartedly why it exists. And the commission meeting today, it rings loud. You have elected officials sitting up there. Baby, they don't know what
Procedure.
They don't know what take that back. They lack morals. People who the commissioners that voted for this bill, the commissioner and the mayor, the set voted, lack morals, integrity. They don't follow policies, procedures, rules. Nothing. The people came to them and said, hey, we don't want this. We think it needs to go back. 4 other commissioners sit on this and make very points to why this should not move forward. But because I was up last when the committee was started, they already knew what they were trying to do. The mayor wants more power. For whatever the reason, he knows the reason he wants more power, because guess what he is? We don't see what goes on in the executive session. There's things that's going on behind the scenes, and the clock kind of hit it there. But there's things that go on behind the scenes that we are not privy to. However, in order for him to get have his way with whatever things that he's having doing behind the scenes, he needs his power. He needs it. The whole day when everybody asks, Brandon Garrett, who created this resolution, why was it rushed? It reflects us. Well, y'all.
So it can be an ad placed on the 14th of March.
So that we can place the ad. That's the Chronicle by the 14th of March. So that we can get it on the ballot in November. There was no other reason for it. I can see like, oh, we have this issue in government, and we need this before this fixes that.
Mhm.
That is not his answer. That was not his answer whatsoever. His answer was, oh, I want to get this. People are saying we don't want this one. We want something else.
Well, and just to clarify, at the beginning of the process, our government was told by Carleton Institute of Government that it is a 12 to 18 month process. So 12 months is even up until March 31st, and we still have the ability to extend if needed.
Because the people who created it controls it, even though they did. Right? So for the first 4 months, the resolution. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Change the say this. Y'all come in and intervene. The kids say, oh, y'all, we're messing with it. We don't want to talk about it. We're not going to bring back. You went to commission several times.
Oh, that was specifically because they had said at the meeting of Shepherd Church for 2024, they said it's commission, and they said to our charter review committee the first meeting, the process was after we complete it, it goes back to the commission, they vote to move it forward. Except for the vote to move it forward didn't show up in the resolution. But also what's not in the resolution, which by the way, they did vote to move it forward today after voting last fall against Stacey Pulliam's motion to add that to the resolution. But the other thing that magically is not in the resolution was that it was supposed to go on the ballot in 26.
But again, none of us really understanding what's the rush behind it, because again, nothing in it other than the timelines, right? The deadlines, we don't want to work to next year type deal. We don't really know the reason for the push other than what the community has been saying, that they quote unquote call them rumors. Oh, that's just he say, she say. No, this is reality.
So I got a call last July after I made that wonderful, beautiful post on Facebook from one of our lawmakers, and they were saying that they thought it was going on the November ballot for this year. And I said, no, if you follow the timeline, it wasn't ever intended to go on in 26. It was intended for 27. And they said to me, the problem with that is we don't know what the legislature will look like going into 27. So you want to know what the rush is. The rush is we need to push it through before some seats flips, potentially because of what's happening on the national level.
So in plain terms, y'all, the Democrats are about to take over, and the Republicans don't want it to happen. So with that being said, they need to stay in charge. Simple as that. So that's the reason. But either way go, y'all, I still feel like we need to get involved in our city's business a lot. And it starts with getting to know the people. Tamika Allen said today at meeting today that the citizens do not trust them. We don't, but we can't do nothing about not trusting them either. You get what I'm saying? Like, they speak so well, and this is nothing against Miss Allen, because high respect to any of them. But yeah, nothing that I say is against anybody, because I can have the same conversation with anybody, the mayor, commissioners, anybody. But y'all know that we don't trust y'all, and instead of trying to gain our trust, you're doing everything to continue to pull it away, if that makes sense.
Yeah, erode trust.
Right. So you try to make it sound good that y'all are doing it for the benefit of the people. You are not doing that benefit people. Garrett sat up there and Wayne Guilford sat up there that day. We're trying to do this for the people. Tell me the benefit of this for the people. Nobody can tell any of us. I don't feel like I have to talk when I go up there, or when I watch the commission meetings. I don't feel like I should go up there and ask questions, because once, they probably won't answer it. That's one. They probably won't talk back to you. Two, a lot of other people been already asked the questions and they don't even answer them. I feel like it's completely pointless to go talk to the commissioners, because you're not gonna get a response.
But
I don't get a response.
That's what I'm saying. You
I
know?
mean, certain
Because
commissioners I do, but my commissioner has never responded to me.
But I say that we
and
still,
that level of entitlement too. I hate that they don't feel like they're servants of the community. Because people who feel like they're servants of the community service the community, even if it's overwhelming. Monique Braswell is a good one. People who service the community, you can tell that they service the community. You can tell it. They show up and they show up. But people who only care about themselves, it show up that way too.
But if I could say, I think that you both and those listening still should go to the commission meetings, the planning meetings, and request to speak, because whether they answer your question or not,
It's on record.
it's on record.
Right.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Right.
It's on record, and you can even request for it to be in the official record end note. So when someone's going back to look at this 3-4 years from now, there's a record
It's
of
a record
what.
of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So we get that, right? It's a record always exists. See, people been doing this forever.
Mm-hmm.
And because we've been getting the same results, that's why nobody trusts the decisions. That's why I don't respect it. Because you can only respect something that actually benefits you. It does not benefit the people to speak. And yes, go speak for sure. Go speak if that's what you want to do. It's one of those systems that does not work. It's ineffective. It just does not work. And even with putting on record, can somebody tell me what happened when it was put on record? They were found wrong. Then what? What happened after you went back and you found that I said that this was going to happen? And it happened. All it is on the record. That's it. As I told you so. Nothing comes from stuff being on record other than, I told you so. Because we don't have enough power to make change.
Sometimes it helps. Like I said earlier, my example of last week, telling them that I do not have to publicly state my home address, and I'm not going to. So I think that it can help. When I stated that the policy actually states that I don't. So today, what happened? He didn't ask me for my address, because after repeatedly and then being very firm last week and citing the policy, I made a little bit of a change, stating that and people have inboxed me. A person spoke to me, 2 people spoke to me in the hallway and said, thank you for speaking up for us about stating the address. I have wanted to speak publicly before, but I didn't want to share my address.
Mm-hmm.
So it can help in certain situations, as long as you have some type of regulation or policy to back up. I am new here, but I'm not new to government.
But
yeah.
but you're new in Augusta, Georgia.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Augusta, Georgia give new people chances. That's why they don't answer her. See, she done been up there several times. Very thorough, very accurate, bring receipts, and gonna give you a timeline. You ain't even got to go do the research yourself at all.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't answer because they scared that they're going to slip up on their own lies.
I know
So.
that too. But why are y'all slipping up on your own lies when you're supposed to be transparent in
Yeah.
running the city? You slip up on lies about what when you telling the truth? When you telling the truth and you're doing your job because you want to see the city do better, it ain't no trip up. It's not one.
But who said that they want to see the city?
They
do
don't.
better?
That's what I'm saying. You don't know that. You don't know that because the people that's in the seats are recycled. Everybody that's in the seat, why he get 4? How long he been on the commission? He was in one seat for 8 years. Do they get 2 pinches?
I think he was in that for 2, and then I think there was a small break, and then he went to the super district.
Right. So he a career politician, pretty much.
But at the same time, Ben Hassan was a previous commissioner, and I absolutely support him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's incredibly intelligent. He actually follows procedure and wants other people to follow procedure. He's knowledgeable about that. He holds people accountable, and I like that.
But
I really like
That's
that.
Ben. See, we want more of Ben's.
Yeah.
We want more of Jordan's. We want more of Francine's. We want more of Stacy's. We want more people who are morally, spiritually, if they spiritually.
You forgot Tony.
Oh, Tony too. Tony. Tony wasn't here
Shout out
today.
to- I
Tony
know, but-
wasn't here today. That's why I ain't mentioned Tony, because Tony should have came to work today.
Yeah, but
That's
you
what
don't know.
Tony
He
should
may have
did.
had like a doctor's appointment or something.
That's
because
fine.
This was a special
He should
called meeting.
he should have posted on Facebook and said I'm at a meeting. Get involved, and that's another thing. I feel like a lot of our elected officials, not that you got to be on social media, but if this where we at, you might need to get here because you don't do nothing in the community. You don't. You don't host town halls. You don't host meetings. You don't hold community. I respect Lonnie for what he did at his community breakfast. He gave a whole update about the SPLOS. He is a commissioner. He took his community through the SPLOS, line by line. What it is, what this is at his community breakfast. He is a commissioner. All commissioners need to do that. Y'all, they should all be coming to the community to bring it in layman's terms to us of what they're discussing. But that's that.
I don't think my commissioner's done a community breakfast.
They said a lot of commissioners haven't. It's all Jordan has did one, Stacey has did one, Francine has done one, Lonnie has done one. Has Tony done one? Man, that's your commissioner. Has he done one?
I don't know.
Well, mine certainly hasn't.
Who's yours?
Oh, mine is Commissioner McKnight.
McKnight.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Them rich
Who
people.
all
up
y'all
there.
commissioner? Who
Y'all
your
rich.
commissioner?
Y'all don't need no community
Q.
breakfast.
Q.
Well, no, we
Q.
do,
I'm
and we
just
all,
playing.
I know,
Jesus
and we
Christ.
also need it.
Hey, mute my mic. Mute my mic. Mute my mic.
We
Mute
need
my mic.
updates.
You know what they didn't need is a data center.
That is what we
in their
certainly
neighborhood.
didn't need, especially walking distance from my front door. No, we did not need that. That was when the public was not even informed that there was a data center or where they were in the process. We came to them to ask questions after our article was posted the end of December. We need transparency. We need better communication, and we
We need
need
somebody to go and follow the rules,
yeah.
the policies and procedures. I'm
I
so
like
tired of them.
rules. I really like rules.
Me too.
I seriously, after our meeting last week, it
I'm
didn't
so
even
tired of
matter
them
what
not going by
happened
the
in the
rules.
meeting. It was just the fact that we actually followed the rules. And when you follow the rules, it evens the playing field.
It does. Because that's why the rules are there, to even the playing field.
Yeah.
Not for you to modify them, not for you to create a loophole, not for
That's
you to
what I
work
was
around it, for you to do what the rules state.
Yeah.
We do not, they gonna find a loophole by any means necessary to make sure that their agenda is held.
So just as a reminder, people still need to vote for 1:30 in the runoff. But also, we really need people to reach out to the legislative delegation.
I'm gonna post it, and hopefully, I'll post it, and then I'll probably do a video behind it, a quick video that explain it or something like that. I don't know how I'm gonna get us engaged, but baby, by all means necessary, we the people is about to get into city business.
Well,
by all
maybe
means
I see
necessary.
Dr. Kesey's on here. Maybe you can work with her and she can like come up with a copy and
do it.
paste thing.
Let's do it.
So that way it's easier because sometimes I just don't have the brain power to try and think of what to say. So if I can copy and paste it, I'm more likely to do it.
Yeah, let's do it. And I mean, again, if y'all want change, if we truly want change, at a certain point in time, you got to get behind somebody. So one thing I will respect about the older community that they learned early, they get behind somebody, they support that somebody. And I just wanted to drop in and say that. But they get behind their person, whoever their person is, and they support them wholeheartedly.
But they also hold them accountable.
And yep, they also hold them accountable too. But the support is there first and foremost because they know that in order for change to happen, you have to support the people. You have to support the people that's doing good work. As much crap that we give certain commissioners, nothing compared to what was done today. Like
That's horrible.
nothing
It really
compares
was.
to what was done today. And being in the space that we were in, being in the
Yeah.
room and seeing it in full flesh,
Yeah.
knowing that these is gonna be the results anyway.
Yeah.
But being in
It was heavy.
I always say that the commission meeting is unwelcoming. It's not a welcoming environment for citizens. And I'm standing by that. It's not a welcoming environment that makes you want to come and be engaged in the civic duty of speaking to your elected officials. They talk at you.
Yeah, that's
They
it.
talk at you.
That's why I said after being in those spaces, I don't mean to use but it feels not safe as somebody who has gone through significant trauma. It feels like I have to be in a constant state of protect myself and have my guard up and, like to scrub myself with a Brillo pad afterwards.
It's not a sociologically safe environment at all.
No.
And I'm someone who that is my build. That's what I do. Talk about psychological safety. They do talk at you. I've experienced it. I've witnessed it in real time, and something needs to be done about it.
Something needs to be done, and that's what I'm saying. The only thing that we can do right now is become community. And that's one thing I keep trying to say. We have to get a community, and it has to be one band, one sound. We do.
I think one of the biggest things for me when thinking about who I would elect is, do they have a servant's heart? And
That's
so
right there.
for instance, I got to shout out Tony Lewis just as an example. He'll call me and he'll say, Angela, I have a constituent that needs this. And I'm saying this because Tony's not going to say it himself, because that's not what he does. He's not the selfie taker. He's not the show up for the photo op guy. But he'll say, I need a resource for this constituent. Can I call them on three-way and connect you? And then Tony sits on the phone so he can also learn it too.
That's good.
So
It's the behind the
he,
scenes work.
he shows up. He may not be loud showing up, but he shows up. And I think we see that from about half of our commissioners. About half. And I think that the split is fairly clear. I will say now, Tina has shown up. She did come to a couple of the
She
town
showed
hall
up
meetings.
today, and she was ready. Her and the other lady was ready to get rid of the protected class pertaining to women, and they both women. I don't care what nobody say. They are both women. In that particular instance, when it mattered, they were not on the side of women or community.
Well, and can we clarify, the protected class doesn't give anybody an extra
Preferred
opportunity.
treatment.
No.
That's two different things.
Very
and
much.
unfortunately, in the charter, it's all mushed together when Mr. Fouché did his thing. But protected class just means I cannot discriminate against you based upon this class. So I'm
know.
disabled. You cannot discriminate. But if you go back to our
We
July meetings
know.
when we discussed subcommittees, and I said, I physically cannot sit in a chair for 6 or 7 hours, they went on ahead and
So they didn't
completely
give you
ignored
any
it.
type of reasonable accommodation. Do they even know what that is?
If I needed to, I could phone in,
Oh, but
but that was the only option. But also keep in mind the community members that were coming. For instance, former Commissioner Moses Todd, he was coming very regularly at first, but he's also disabled. It's painful to
Tired of-
sit.
I
Y'all
understand.
ain't tired enough. Y'all ain't tired enough. Y'all ain't tired enough. I see Ernestine. She said she tired of these jokers. Y'all not tired enough. Y'all not tired. People who are tired get involved. People who are tired do the work. They link up with other people. Like I always say, there's a lot of resources out here, but there's somebody that's a guru or something that you should just partner with. We got so many people out here giving resources, but we got
partnerships.
Resource
That's
Augusta
good.
that does it. So partner with some. If you do resources, partner with somebody else that do resources. Now y'all a big community of building resources. If I'm good at, I say fashion design. I'm good at fashion design. I should partner with somebody else who does seamstress, tailoring, stuff like that. Now we a whole community. You know, we need to build community with the resources that we have already established in our community and stop trying to overlap, or is it even overlapping another organization or business? We all are creating the same services and we need to come together. That's just what it is. We need to come together.
But I think, and we discussed this a little bit earlier too, I think one thing that's important is sometimes we have the call to action, but we don't tell people why they should care. Like, I need you
So
to
what's
tell me why I should
what's in it
care.
for them?
Yeah,
And
but
do a
then
lot by
but then
simply voting and
also
understanding
don't just
what-
tell me why I should care with no action item. Because like for instance, if like the data center,
Right.
or you know the recent article that came out about the forever chemicals in our water. If you only tell me that, I'm going to waste all of my passion being angry instead of putting it forth towards an
agree.
action item. So when you get ready to make people mad, give them something to do with that.
I agree with that. And as we're building this, as we're galvanizing boots on the ground, I think that we can come up with a date and a location fairly soon while we still have momentum and start thinking about strategy. Because we can have all these lofty ideas, but if we don't have a strategy
We'll have a
on
strategy
how to
and community.
implement, then we might lose that. So I guess when we go offline,
And-
we'll talk about that, and Q will post tomorrow about what has been decided as far as a date and location, and we'll send it out to you. And we're going to ask you, we need your help. We need you to show up, bring a friend, a family member, and engage in the process. Even if it's just your thought leadership, your opinion matters too. Don't think because you don't have this degree or this experience, your lived experience is
enough.
all we
It's enough.
need. Yes,
enough.
that's enough. That's enough.
Your lived experience. A lot of people that's sitting in our elected officials is sitting there off of a lived experience.
Yes,
and lived
that's all you
experience
need.
and that's why it's one sided. Some of these people have never even been around black people before they got into elected official seat. Some of these people do not come out their neighborhoods. They do not engage whatsoever. That's why they don't know that you people actually ride the actual public transportation that they voting on. That's why they do not know that. You get involved when you're tired of seeing the same thing. I'm 38 years old. I've been living in Augusta all my life. Augusta has not changed. But for the benefit of each elected official, they have benefited tremendously. Everybody come out of office extremely good, while the citizens of Augusta still do what? Suffer.
Not, I mean, I don't think that's
Not like
not
that.
with the commission.
Not like that,
I
but
would
they
tell
not
you,
struggling.
I would tell you, Francine probably goes broke being in office because she be hit up for all kinds
She
of
ain't out
donations.
of office.
No, but I'm saying like
It costs a lot of money.
She spends more than she makes.
But that's just.
But
my
that's
whole
she's a
gist
joyful
behind that,
giver,
I'm
too.
not talking about women. If I had to be honest,
Yeah.
the women be coming in and doing they big one. I don't care what nobody say. It's the men. It's the men. It's the men. It's the men. It's it's the men. And every time you turn around, it's a man. We was okay with our mayor being $1 million, owing somebody $1 million. The black woman who was in debt for $20,000 could not be mayor. I think her name was Helen Blocker or something like that. They ran a smear campaign on her so bad about $20,000 and whatever else. Our mayor, quote unquote, according to the sources that have put him out, is a bad money manager. Yet, we still want him to be our mayor. We say nothing about that whatsoever. We say nothing about it. But he's running the city that governs a budget, and he a bad money manager himself. That don't make sense. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Why not? And it'll be us that come to here and be like, oh, she talking bad about the mayor. And da-da-da. I'm calling out what the other publications put out. Augusta Press put that out. I didn't. I wasn't even in that man business. They was. But they're not quiet because they want him to be reelected. If y'all ain't seen them before now, why would y'all reelect them? Garnett ain't been on the side of South Augusta outside of that food truck Friday. He ain't been out here helping no part of South Augusta whatsoever except for a select few. South Augusta looks like it looked 4 years ago when he was elected.
Well, and I do just want to point this out because we do have a couple of commissioners that cover South and East Augusta that are up for re-election. One thing you have to keep in mind is, are they fighting for you in that room? Just because you aren't seeing the results doesn't mean that they're not doing their jobs. But you still need 6 votes to make anything happen.
And that's
so
what they have to understand.
When they're in the minority on the commission, they don't have the power to change those things. So while they are up there talking and fighting for SPLOST dollars and potholes to be filled and street lights and hearing all of their citizens' concerns, they still need the votes to go with it.
It's a split.
Yep. And I think that's what we need to understand. One person told me that 6 votes, they don't care nothing as long as they get 6 votes. All you need is 6. You can have 10 commissioners, but you need 6 people to be on the same side.
Well, it's 10 commissioners and the mayor.
Well, 10 commissioners and the mayor. But all you need is 6 votes. So as long as all you need is 6 votes and the mayor has 6 votes, that means there's 6 people on his side. Anything that he say, right or wrong, they gonna agree with it. And that is bad to be in leadership. Everybody is not always right. You may hold the mayor title, But remember that all these seats is literally just popularity. If it was actually going off credentials, skills, personability, likability, regular stuff, characteristics, personality, having some type of humor and all that other stuff, but I'm just playing y'all. But no, it's literally just being popular. How you become the mayor is the mayor because he was the most popular at the time. That is it. Everybody, it becomes the elected official because they're the most popular at the time. That means they have enough people to come out there and show up for them. But are they good people? Just because you're popular doesn't necessarily make you a good person.
So I do just want to address, because this is one thing that your favorite person, Steve Fouché, brought up during this process.
Not the favorite.
He felt like commissioners should have to have more than just a high school diploma. And I don't even know if I think it requires a high school diploma or a GED. Not even that. Yeah, so you just have to be a resident.
You just got to be a resident.
21.
18 or 20, depending on which seat, 18 or 21.
Yeah, so one thing I
and
will
live
say,
in a district.
when you can learn things in your neighborhood, and I don't want to say in the streets, but whatever your streets are, you can learn more things there than you can in a college in some cases that make you more qualified. So I would just, for certain positions, I think that you should probably have
Like
some
an
For the-
accountant or
For
something.
the
Yeah.
mayor position, there should definitely be some qualifications that's top tier. You should have been accomplished some things on multitude of different levels. Whether it was you a business owner, you hold a doctorate degree, you should be one of the top, what we consider as a top elite citizen. That means you've been in different rooms, you're personable, people like you. The majority of the city should come out and vote for you. That's how
we should be excited too.
Who's the mayor that had the most likability? Was it Deke?
That's what they said, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't here then.
Okay, so Deke had the most likability. I don't know why, but he did. Everybody fucked with him. That's why he stayed in the seat for so long. When everybody don't fuck with you as a mayor, you should not be the mayor.
So when
And let me say, not everybody, but a good majority should be behind you as the mayor. Not 16,000, not 13,000. 80 to 100,000 people should be behind the mayor that's representing to be the face of the city.
So when Deke came before us during a subcommittee meeting last year, one thing that he said was at the beginning of every year, I think it was, him and the commissioners took a bus ride, and they did like a tour of all the different areas in Richmond County because he wanted them to be exposed to all of them. So like you said, some people haven't left their neighborhoods. Some people don't interact with people of other races at all if they can avoid it. So I think that was one thing that probably helped Deke to be more liked is it seems from my perspective, if I were doing that, it would seem like it would even the playing field a little bit.
That makes sense.
Like it's forcing people almost to look at the struggles of other people and try to hopefully understand them.
Empathize.
Yeah.
Not sympathize, but empathize, and there's a
But
difference.
also what Deke had was respect. And I think that's what we lack in our commission is they don't respect each other. They don't respect one another. And the person that set the tempo of respect is your leader, is the mayor. He set the tone for respect because he didn't disrespect people. And he wasn't intentionally trying to go against the will of the people. He was understanding. He wanted to do right by the people. And he also utilized his team as his strength. You get what I'm saying? Like, he played off their strengths. Whatever his weakness was, his team was his strength. I just feel like they respected him on a whole different level. But
So if you remember last week, there was the young woman that spoke right before or after you,
Before.
and she got a little bit snarky.
Yes.
And the mayor was very quick to say, "Have a good day," and she was done. No, she did.
I could
She-
see.
But he also didn't do the same thing today with Mr. Fouché.
Absolutely. But we
And
know
this
that.
was a young woman, a
18.
college student.
She was 18 years old.
Frustrated.
Yes.
Frustrated.
Well, because she was speaking about the environment and the damage being done. And
Don't care.
So you're messing with her people and herself, their health.
Don't care.
So, but she did admittedly at the end, she because she was like, that's all I have. And he was like, okay, well, just wait here for a second in case somebody's got questions. She's like, I don't have questions. And he was like, no, in case somebody else up here has questions. She's like, well, what are they? And he was like, okay, have a good day. But Steve literally was up there attacking
And he attacked
a member of the commission.
disrespect.
And he was not
And it was allowed.
stopped at all. It
was
wasn't
allowed.
have a good day. It was thank you. And then Wayne turned around and thanked him as well.
Start comparing.
Yeah.
But
But the good thing, I always try to find a silver lining, that it was live streamed. You all don't have to take our perspectives about what happened. Go watch it for yourself.
I don't think nobody gonna really do it. Some people
Maybe
will,
you need to
but
timestamp it and let them know where to fast forward to get to that part.
I was gonna screen record it and play it on the video, but today has been a day. But either way go, y'all. We're gonna wrap up this live tonight. We've been on for about 2 hours for the most part. I appreciate everybody for tuning in live with Augusta News Network on my personal page. I was gonna call Miss Nelson on live and congratulate her for winning the Democratic, winning the race, and congratulate her on the runoff. But I'm on my phone, so I'll do it after I get off live. But congratulations to Miss Sheila Nelson Clark and Thomas McAdams. They're going to a runoff, so the next race is April the 7th. You're not going to hear me say nothing about it. Vote for me in May. We on the ground. We on the ground. 236 people voted. Yeah, we got to get on the ground. We got to get on the ground. So, yeah, but that's it. That's it. Man, you got anything you want to say before we close out? All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for being my guests.